And this is Tony saying something. Hopefully, people can hear us now. And this is Tony
Sorry,
saying
I should be
something.
more explicit. If you're
Hopefully,
watching
people
right
can
now
hear
and you
us
can
now.
hear me, type that you can hear me in the chat so that we know you can hear me. Got a new
This
setup
is
tonight.
Tony
Sorry,
saying
I should be more
something.
explicit.
If you're
Emil can
watching right
hear
now
us,
and
and
you can
that's all
hear
that
me.
matters. All right, we'll be pretending like none of this ever
This is
happened
Tony saying
in just a
something.
couple seconds.
Hopefully, people can hear us
We're gonna
now.
cut this anyways. You want me to just go ahead and
And
give us a pause and then jump in, Quinn, and you'll be able to cut it later.
This is Tony saying
Sorry, I
something.
should be more explicit. If you're
Hopefully,
watching
people
right
can
now
hear
and
us
you can
now.
hear me, type that you can hear me in the chat so that we know you can hear me. Got a new
It's
setup
doubled
tonight.
now.
Sorry, I should be more explicit.
Emil
Emil
can
can
hear
hear
us,
us,
and
and
that's
that's
all
all
that
that matters. All right,
That's weird.
pretending.
Are you
like
sure that
none of this
wasn't
ever
just
happened.
It's a
Tony
lot
saying
of just
something. And we are live here on Plus. See, take us out. Take us out and bring us back one more time. All right. Are we out or did you leave us up? All right, ready? Count me down again. And we are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicenda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP, which is a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard, and skincare alchemy in the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope here at Plus One EXP is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games, and amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. We do that in a lot of different ways, but during late January and the month of February, we do it by helping support Zemo. What is Zemo? Zemo is the community's response to saying, hey, we don't need companies to tell us that we can fund and make and release and create cool RPGs in the month of February. We can just get together and decide to do that. I did a full conversation with Charlie Ferguson Avery, one of the founders of Zine Month, last week here on Twitch or over on our YouTube channel if you want to catch the videos on demand and want to learn more about the origins of all that. But tonight we're going to do kind of rapid fire questions from our audience about Zemo. We've got a couple questions ready to kind of get us primed to talk about some of that, a couple projects we're excited to share with you, but really we're here to answer your questions about making zines, playtesting, publishing, printing, fulfillment, all those kind of things. And to do that, we have a couple of great guests. So get those questions ready. I'm monitoring the chat on Twitch only. So if you're ever on YouTube, you're probably going to want to hop over, but maybe Quinn will drop us those if they come through. You can give us a little message or drop them in the Twitch chat, Quinn. Also, big shout out to Quinn, who is running tech tonight for the first time. The mess ups are not their fault. It is just the first time doing a thing and learning through that. So really excited to have you doing that because I am traveling this week over in Boston. Really glad to have the guests we have with us. One of the other initial organizers of Z Month, the person who's helped manage the server for the last couple of years. That's Sam Sorensen, who's also a great designer in their own right. At least I think so. Sam, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and if you want to be found on the internet, where they can find you.
Sure. I'm Sam. Hi, nice to meet you. I am a tabletop RPG writer, editor, graphic designer, occasional illustrator. I guess I'm a game designer, question mark.
Procedures
Uh,
and system, procedures and adventures, I call games also
sure,
too.
sure, 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 sure. And I teach some game design classes at a couple of schools here in New York City, greatest city in the world, baby. Now that we have a socialist, communist, installing all manner of laws upon us, which we adore. Shout out to my boy. Um, but yeah, RPG designer, I guess. And you can find me on Blue Sky. That's where I'm most active. And I have a blog, samsorensen.blot.im. That is my other contact info. You can send me an email. I'm on Discord. If you hunt around, you'll probably find me. But yeah, Blue Sky's the easiest.
Awesome. And we've got one of the greatest bastions of zine creation for the last 5 years with us tonight. We've got Yeet. Yeet, why don't you tell us who you are, what you do, and where people can find you or those you love on the internet?
Hey nerds, it's me Yeet, and you might know me from Yeet versus Zine Quest, which will be back to every weekday this February. Instead of we tried an experiment to do it like only a couple times a week, seeing if that would. But you know what? I'm a creature of habit. Every day in February. But I am part of Knifeable Games, and we make a lot of zines, and I love zines. Zines are my favorite. I like to. I made one last year called. I did a zine quest called Yeet Makes a Zine. We made a zine called Murder Doctor. That was about online dating and murder. But I'm excited to talk tonight about upcoming Zine Month. I love zines. Love them.
Awesome.
Thank you for having
And
me on the show.
Yeah, I asked everybody to prepare a question.
Oh, and I am from originally from a cave, but I now live in Philadelphia, the actual greatest city on the earth. Go Birds.
Go Birds. Which is true. It is the greatest city in the world, and go Birds. Sorry, Sam. And so we are going to be. I asked each of you to prepare a question to ask us, to ask the other two people on. I'm going to ask you one. I got asked last week that I thought was especially good, and that's if you were going to eat as many zines as you could during Zine Month, how
Yes.
many zines do you think you could eat in Zine Month?
How many zines could a Zine Month eat if a Zine
If
Month
Zine Month
eat
could eat
zines?
zines, yeah, yeah. Let's start with you, Yeet. As well, Sam thinks. Sam's doing some deep mental calculations right now. You can prepare them however you want. Whatever you don't have to eat them raw. Your prep method of your choosing. They do have to be fully consumed. How many zines do
So,
you think you could eat during Zine Month?
so here's the problem. Let's say um, I had the desire to eat zines. If you've ever watched them do the hot dogs, they have the secret to how to do it, and it's water.
Dip them in water.
You gotta get them a little wet. Get them a little wet. I could eat like 2 zines a day.
Yeah, easy. Zine lasagna?
Yeah,
Lazine,
zine lasagna.
Lasagna?
Easy.
Lasagna. Great. I love it. Lasagna.
So I have an important clarifying question for this, Tony.
Okay.
Do I have to eat the binding method? Like, do I have to eat, if it's saddle stitch, do I have to eat the string? And if it's stapled, do I have to eat the staples?
Here's the thing. I don't make somebody eat the parsley on their plate if they don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If you want to eat the parsley, I think you can. If you're like, hey, that will grind up my insides,
Right.
and I think it's fine to de-staple them.
Okay.
'Cause like I said, prep method is your choice. Like I think
Sure.
that's removing the bones from a fish. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
The
You can
fillet
totally
of
take it off.
zine. You have to fillet the zine, remove all of the metal, even though it gives a certain piquancy to the beast. Yeah, I mean, now let's just be real honest. As a kobold, I could probably eat a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I think as a
believe it.
human, if we're cooking them into lasagna, if I'm making tortellini,
Turtle zini.
then I think, or I guess just ziti with zines would be zini.
Zini.
Then I think I could
Baked
eat a
ziti?
lot. Like I think I could do probably like 4 a day, especially if they're only like 16 pagers and they're
Yeah.
like not, the paper's not that heavy. If I'm eating a 64-page mothership zine that's like beefy, that's tougher. But a little printer paper 16-page one, easy peasy. I can eat a lot of
Yeah,
that.
I mean, if you're starting to talk, gloss paper, then we're getting weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think I think stock quality and quantity is the big question here because we talking 60-pound uncoated, like easy,
GSM 60
Yeah.
uncoated or
Yeah.
or lighter
yeah,
in
fat.
a fine sauce, followed by a scotch.
Yeah, Easy.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, I think here's the deal. If it was like a challenge and there was, and if there was, if it was just like a pay, if I got paid the value of a zine, again, everybody increase your prices. We got paid the value of the zine also too along the way. I mean, I could easily do, I think 4 would be reasonable.
Yeah.
And I think I could push myself to 6 without a lot of stress. Um,
But that's like a
I
couple of pounds of paper at that point. Like that's a lot.
Here's the deal. I have pica. And I already eat a lot of paper. This is the thing you should know. This is me turning away to eat 6 zines a day and looking over my shoulder and said, the secret is I was already eating 2 zines a day. And so it's not quite that much, but I do eat more paper than the average person already. And now you know my secret about why I got into zines. So that's my question I wanted to ask you all, my very unserious question, but somebody asked it last week. I do have a good, I think, a fun follow-up question, but I want to kick it over to y'all first, real quick. Again, if people have questions, that's what we're here for. So we've got a couple questions, but we really want to hear from you. Anything you ever wanted to know about making a zine, about releasing a zine, about funding a zine, that's what we're here to talk about. I've got a couple people tossed it on social media before the stream. But again, we really want to hear from y'all live also too. But Sam, let's kick it over to you. What's a question you want to know from the two of us about something about zines?
So mine is similarly perhaps less serious, but I was thinking if you were gonna go to like a really fancy function, like I'm thinking like the Met Gala, like you're going to like, you
We're
know,
going to the Met Gala.
yeah, and you have to wear one or more zines, and you can take them apart and make them into clothing.
Interesting.
Which zines do you wear?
What is the theme of the Met Gala this year?
One of the two good ones. It's either camp or Catholicism.
Well, how different are the two of those?
These are the
Is
questions
there
we
a
explore.
difference? Is there
Yeah.
a difference?
And the question is what zines are we wearing?
Yeah. And you can
Do you-
take them apart. You know, if there's one that has a specific spread that you
Do you
love.
remember a couple years ago there was a zine and it was a hunter green with a gold uh press, and it was called like 12 something or like
trying to think.
something.
I remember similar zines. I don't remember the title.
That's what I would want to wear something
Okay.
in a thick cardstock with gold foiling.
Mm.
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
In an autumn. I'm in autumn. So like a green, a hunter, a brown.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick 2 zines that I think perfectly encapsulate both of the themes that it could be. And those themes, there was one that came out, and I can't remember the exact title, but it was something like something Helms. And it was an OSR book that was
Helm's the Multiverse. Yeah. This
Helms
is
of the
Zine
Multiverse.
Month.
There we go.
Yes, yeah.
And I would use that. And
Mm.
then the other one I would get is Kidnap the Archpriest.
Ooh, that's a good call.
Right. And because here's the important thing about
Right.
either of those 2 themes, the hat is going to matter. And so I just want to diegetically lean into Helms and of the
Points for
multiverse.
diegetic.
Hats on hats, basically, because that's what making a zine in Zine Month or any time of year is about putting on multiple hats and putting hats on those hats.
Of course.
And whether it's camp or whether it's Catholicism, the hat's going to matter. And so Kidnap the
Camp
Archpriest.
Catholicism is all about hats.
Yeah. And Kidnap the Archpriest.
Because in
hits the
Camp
theme everywhere.
Catholicism, you can literally cut wood using a hat.
There we go.
It's a mighty joke.
All right, Sam, what are your 2 zines you're going to use?
Well, I was thinking about this question, and like obviously my heart says, of course, you have to have all 3 of the little brown books that you've just like unfurled, you know, or like the Trav like box set. But
Are
I
you
think,
talking like original OD&D books?
yeah. I think
So
that, you know,
just because you want to go value, you're just like original.
well, I mean, if it's the Met Gala, I gotta prove that
Met
like I'm
Gala,
wearing
yeah, that's
paper,
true.
but it's valuable paper, you know. Um, Past that, I think it would be really funny to have like one of the ones that's like all tables of like, you know, you get one of those like mothership zines that's just like all D10 tables, and I'm just a cascade of D10 tables in like tiny 8-point font. I think would be pretty good.
Yeah, and then people was like, what table are you supposed to sit at? And you're like, yes.
Yes, precisely.
Excellent. All right.
I would if that ever happens, I hope that I get asked to be the Joan Rivers. Because I
Yeah.
want to be like, so what table are you wearing?
We've got a couple good questions coming in. They're asking the two ends of something that I already knew was going to come up, and I think it's great. But before we hop over to those, Yeet, what
Yes.
is your question for us?
So here's my question. I, as you know, am very small, and I like the form factor of the zine, but I really like a tiny zine. So, what do you think about one-page zines that get folded into a little 8-page book?
Yeah.
And what is your favorite if you have one? Because mine is Citadel of Evil.
Um, there are a bunch of really good ones. I think that's a really good form factor that more people should use. I'm going to talk about my favorite delivery method of those zines. There is somebody who has started
Is
using
it
the
is it
like.
is it a slap in the face?
It's not a slap in the face. That's a really good one. There is somebody who started using the like the card vending machines, like the little you put in a quarter
Yeah.
and you go chir 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 chir, and then
Oh
like a
yes,
little
I saw
card comes
Elliot
out.
has this. Yeah, 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 yeah.
They sent Elliot one. I need to pick one up, but they come loaded with zines, or you can load your own. And I really want to get a bunch of those to just load in. I think it's a super cool
We're
thing.
in.
That's the coolest way to get those zines. And I really want to get one, little zine machine, to share out. So, but yeah, I think I mean I love little 8-page zines. When people ever ask what a zine is for me, and maybe we all answer this question as part of this is, it is a folded paper like object presenting information, and that is really what I call a zine. Is like it's I think you got to be folding paper. Um, and I think it's got to have something inside of it that you're sharing with other people. Those are my two zine
Okay,
classifications
Tony,
at minimum.
is a birthday card a zine?
Sure.
Die Hard is a sandwich.
Are you presenting information? Here's the thing. If it's just got your signature, I don't know that that's information. Like it is information about who gave it, but does it have a nice turn? Is there a little information
Yeah,
on the
it says
outside?
happy birthday.
Is it taking you on the journey? You know, like well, if you already knew it was if your birthday, that's not necessarily presenting your information. But if it's got like a good punchline on the outside and good delivery on the inside or a good setup on the outside and good punchline on the inside, I mean, I think that's great. Best zine card I ever got was somebody who on my wedding day gave us a card, and they were like, it was really nice on the outside, really thoughtful, and then on the inside it says, "Until you hear the pitter patter of little feet," and it's like, oh my god, when I got this, I thought it was a wedding card, but it's a congratulations, you're having your first child card. I really did not intend to pressure you into having children, but I didn't realize it until last night. I'm so sorry. From my friend Aaron Bonner, who is tremendous and just classically bought a card they thought was a wedding card and ended up being I'm pressuring you into having a child, and that is one of the best zines I've ever been handed in my
The
life. Handwritten, about half a page of apology
the
in that zine.
the Fat Wizard has handwritten RPGs in people's wedding cards,
That's cute.
Yeah.
which are technically based on your information zines.
Yeah.
Based on Tony's definition.
It's
What
on
are
my
Tony's
definition.
definition? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What about
All
your
right.
definition, Sam?
You've activated one of my trap
Do you
cards.
count little 8-page
No,
single fold?
those are pocket mods.
Those are pocket mods. Okay.
Yeah, and truthfully, this is maybe I'm derailing us. Tony, feel free, or, Quinn, feel free to cut my stream whenever. I would argue the vast majority of what we in our DRPG space call zines are like probably not actually zines. What they are
Okay.
probably are booklets. Um,
Okay.
my broad definition is that a zine needs to be serialized. Like the zinesters in the 80s, the 70s, 80s, 90s, like the early RPG ones were all
They were
serialized.
saying the thing continually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you'd get issues of these zines mailed to you irregularly. If you
Yeah.
read the old history books, if you read John Peterson or whoever, like they talk a lot about how these zines, you'd get one every like 4 months, or like if you were lucky. And so oftentimes these are super short and like they ran for, sub 10 issues and now are only in some university library somewhere.
Yeah.
And so I think
But things like Apazine and Amra and other of those historic zines, a modern person would look at that and not call it a zine because it's just a stack of paper that's folded together and that's stapled together.
Sure, but
Because it's
like,
definitely not folded. They're not. They didn't fold them.
yeah. But I guess the corollary to that is like, in Zine Quest, what was it, like one or two? Tony, do you remember the story of Tomb of Black Sand?
Yeah.
Tomb of Black Sand was advertised as a zine, and then like 2 years later when it came out, they were like, just kidding, it's actually a 54-page hardcover. And like
Yeah.
that to me, like there's some semantic drift that's been occurring. And so I now promote most things that are people in RPGs called zines. I call them booklets. And the little 8-page fold 'em ups I call pocket mods.
I think that's
My
fine.
my no, go ahead, please.
Sorry.
No, you're good, you're good.
I I like a zine, and by that I mean my personal definition, meaning a paper booklet like that has a cardboard cover and is not in color generally. Something that you could produce with a thing of cardstock and some like and a copy machine,
Yeah, the printer you have in your house. Yeah,
right? Or
totally.
yeah, or today the printer you had in your house.
Yeah.
But in relation to Zine Month and Zine Quest and Zemo, I say all bets are off. Um, we use the term now to mean indie RPGs. Like, is that a zine? You're like, well, no, that's an indie RPG. It is a most half the stuff that comes out of Zine Quest is printed at Mixum.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I would say more than
At least
half, way
half.
more than half. Yeah,
Like,
90% of what is
First,
printed
yeah.
on
first helpful tip you'll get from this stream. If you're looking for a place to print, Mixim's a good place to start, but not always a good place to end.
Ooh,
You're not wrong.
saucy.
You're not
Oh
wrong.
no,
You're
I'm
not
just
wrong.
saying. Like, I mean, look around, but like, if you haven't figured it out yet at all yet, like Mixam.com is a
Yeah, yeah,
great
yeah.
place to start. And so, um, yeah. Sam, did you have a follow up to that? You were talking about booklets, pocket
Oh, I was
mods.
just gonna say, to answer the original prompt of what my favorite pocket mod is, my favorite pocket mod was made by my friend Danny Hawk, a game designer here in Brooklyn, and it's a little game called Jump 10,000 Times. And in it are 10,000 little dots, and you cross them off every time you jump,
Love it.
and you try and jump 10,000 times.
Love it.
Yeah. Nobody I know
Awesome.
has ever successfully finished the game. We've gotten pretty far, but not very
But
far.
not far.
Yeah.
Do people usually give up? Do you have to do it in a row?
No, you just have to do them. And
And people just lose
you can
track.
even team up, like
Okay.
we sometimes we try to play it as a team. And I think we broke 1,000 playing as a team before.
Maybe this is the year.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think the easiest way to do that is to get 1,000 people and everybody
And
jump.
everybody jumps once, but then you have to mark it
Yeah.
off 1,000 times. It's,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
I'd say it's fine.
Yeah.
Excellent. So two of the first questions we got in when we posted this out is somebody asked, "What is a zine?" My blithe answer is actually like, if your stapler is big enough, the world is your zine.
When ninth level games started, our first Cobalt Ate My Baby was a zine, and we built a saddle stapler by taking two staplers and a board and some wire, and we like built a saddle stapler. And so yes, if your stapler is big enough,
The world is your
you
zine.
can zine anything.
But it also meets all of our criteria. It was saddle stitch, paper folded. There's multiple kobolds that came out over time, like it was serialized. I mean, it's a zine, yeah. And so like I actually, it is oftentimes more easy to say what is not a zine than it is what is a zine, in my experience, which I think Sam did a really great job of. I love all those differentiations. But yeah, Zine Month tends to be less about that. I would say if you're doing a big hardback book, or this thing's going to be 200 pages, or you're like, great. If you're like, oh, it may be so big that I need to perfect bind it because I did 64 pages in the printer I want to work with, doesn't do that. Like, don't sweat it. Like, is that technically a book? Sure, like, but there's a lot of DIY ethos in zining. Like, there's a lot of things that may make your project more zine-like than other things. Don't sweat it for the purposes of Zine Month, I think is the big thing. But I mean, I love, Sam, those kind of like pocket mod versus it's a booklet versus a zine being like serialized potentially, which I think I would love more people to think about. Like whether they are releasing a series of things in this, and I love to see like the projects that come back kind of year after year in Zine Month also too. But yeah, people asked, does a single page thing count for Zine Month? Sure. And then like, what's the max pages? I don't know, like 60 to 64 ish, but also like,
You can go higher than that if you know where to look.
yeah, yeah. If you go, there are plenty of things that are zines that are bigger, and again, that just means their stapler was bigger, you know. So that's all it comes down to. It slash had more psis to push through through more paper, or they used 50-pound stock that you can get more paper through. Like there's a
Mhm,
lot of
mhm,
there's a lot of
mhm.
ways you can kind of mess around with that. But as far as the extremes, I would say on average you see 12 page to 60 page kind of for the most part. But that's just kind of what is common, and not necessarily what is prescriptive. But
and
thanks to
and
Low
and,
Guppy
and
asking
it's
over on
important.
YouTube.
It's important. One of the things that I'm telling people all the time, especially again, this is less about the alchemy of paper and more about the month of February. The month of February is now become dedicated to the pursuit of role playing.
Hmm.
Make something cool on your own. You don't need anyone's permission. And that ethos is at the heart of the zine lifestyle, the zine equation. Like, somebody might, oh, it's not punk rock if it doesn't have spiky bits. I think Blondie disagrees entirely. It's an issue where the vibes, the feel is more about making this RPG thing that you want and you want to get out in the world. And maybe it's your first time or your 100th time, it doesn't matter. Um, but using February as an excuse to zine it up.
Yeah. We've got oh, for some reason, likely ban evader restricted. I probably shouldn't be sharing that information, but I won't say your name out loud. I think it may have held your thing. I don't know why. This does not, this seems like
We're
it
getting forbidden
totally.
questions.
Yeah, I'll let Quinn, if you, I don't know if you have access to the back end. If not, I'll do it in a second. But yeah, I mean, Twitch apparently doesn't like this person. This is a great question. Two-part question, if I'm okay with it. From a real newbie, but only after the cuisine discussion. My zine is probably going to be real analog, cut and paste using actual scissors and Scotch tape. Is it cool to
Sick,
just
sick.
take that to my scanner, make it into a PDF, and upload it to Itch? Or
Yep.
or you want to intervene on behalf of technology and or my potentially vast readership and tell me to bug a graphic designer friend to have them do something
Nope.
else? Yeah, no, that's
Nah.
great. More people should do that. Like,
People pay a lot of money to fake that effect.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. People go and buy this people will buy like things that are like half-tone emulation kit for Photoshop. If you're gonna cut something with a pair of scissors and then actually glue stick it to a piece of paper, like we did in the early '90s, more power to you, brother.
yeah. I mean, check out what Alfred Valley does, right? Like Alfred is one of my favorite designers, does really amazing stuff. Just did a texture collection that they posted. It is excellent, right? But a lot of it is taking analog means to do that. Keegan, one of our team members, will regularly create different covers by messing with their scanner. So they will print stuff out manually and then scan it back in and move it slowly down the page to create different text effects on the overall final product. There's a lot of cool things that you can do moving between analog and text. And there's people like Scott Morris over in the RPG Zines group. The, their zine has a tinfoil like movable like guillotine on the front, or guillotine on the front. I'm sure there will only be 50 to 100 copies of Scott's game. I cannot wait to back Scott's like project just for the physical form factor. So getting like real sticky fingers, like traditional zine culture art, like is absolutely great. Also, like I've seen people posting some art in the Zine Month server that's like, I'm not a graphic designer. Here's the thing I made. What do you think? I think it's great. Like I like there's some weird stuff in there. From a graphic design standpoint, are there rules that it's not following? Sure, it's beautiful. like um Apparently Retrofit had this stream starting just when they walked up to their computer. So yeah, just get in there and mess around in that analog and digital sweet spot. Let's go back to this because the question probably came up while we were talking about them. Sam, you're going to give a really solid definition of a pocket mod because people are
Oh
asking,
yeah,
what is a pocket mod? Like we mentioned it at the beginning,
yeah.
and it came from Chris's question, but
So a pocket mod is you take
Yeet's
a
question.
regular US letter 8.5 by
Yeet's
11.
question.
Yeah, 8.5 by 11 or A4 paper, and then you fold it up into eight, I guess you'd call them like eighths or octates, and then you bend it and you snip it in the middle in this weird way with scissors. It's hard to explain without a diagram, but once you put it together, and then basically once you have this cut in the middle, you can fold it around such that you get a little 8-page booklet, kind of, including the front cover and back cover. And there's no staples, there's no stitches. It's just this one cut on piece of paper that you fold it up, and then you can create these very complete little like mini books out of a
Yeah.
single piece of paper. And those are called pocket mods.
Yeah. And if you go like search pocket mod like template on itch, you
Hmm.
will find templates in exact
Yeah.
like how to do all that on there. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the cool thing is if you're gonna use if you're gonna use an electronic tool to make a pocket mod, you have to be very careful about which direction stuff is because it's like an Ouroboros Mobius strip of publishing. As you flip everything around, like they're not where you think they are, and then you turn the page, and then it's page 6, and then it's page 2, and then you have failed your pocket modding.
Yeah. Bean J Bunny, who asked that question, says, "Wait, I'm folding pocket mods right now while I listen. I've just never heard them called that."
Oh,
And
really?
so,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, but I
Perhaps
that
you've called them heard as pocket mods. Dun, 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 dun.
I mean,
No.
really, we do need the pocket mods Saturday morning cart where it's dueling pocket mods,
Oh, that'd
and
be
we're all
sick.
trying to capture each other's pocket mods. And so,
Pocket
yeah, no,
mods.
But
Who's
yeah,
that pocket mod? The best part is everyone looks the same in silhouette.
yep. Again, if you have more questions, feel free to go ahead and drop them in. Sam, what were you gonna say?
oh, I was gonna say, Pokemon's, at least in RPGs, have like a pretty long legacy. The one I always think of, and I think this is still somewhere publicly available online, Mothership, which now is a giant box set. You can sort of see it on my back shelf. Started originally in like 2018, 2017 as a little pocket mod that Sean McCoy made. And you can
Mhm.
find it, and it like is it's basically still just Mothership. It's got the classes, it's got stress, it has the panic table, it has a little teeny tiny like 2-panel adventure with a monster roaming around a spaceship, and like it all fits on one piece of paper that you can fold up and fit in your pocket, but it's Mothership, like it's there. And so sometimes, especially if I have like a new rule set, I will make, even just for myself, sometimes I release them and sometimes I don't, just a pocket mod to say, like, let me just iterate through this in like a teeny tiny version just to see what that feels like.
Yeah. And whether I'm doing pocket mods or not, I mean, that is a great point to pull out. Like when I'm doing initial design work, I am like, can I create 1 or 2 pages of rules? Like, what's the minimum playable version of a game
Hmm.
I can create to test that game,
And
right?
to distribute it, to say you can hand it to
Yeah.
somebody and say, here it is.
Yeah. Do you know if based on these rules, could you run this is also
Right.
a really elucidating thing. And like it gets it out to people right away to start messing around with this thing, giving you feedback, supporting you. Sam might like Mothership. That came up in chat. And
Maybe,
so
maybe, maybe.
maybe. Chris, what about sorry, Yeet, when I've never struggled with this before, Yeet. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Never. You've
I feel
never
like
had a
some
problem.
I feel like some wizards cast a spell on me. I don't know what's going on.
Yes.
The for you, if when y'all are when you're looking at games and you're looking at finding out whether they work or not, like how do you start the process of playtesting?
Well, the cool thing for us is that we are working with Polymorph. Pretty much that's the only thing we're making games in. And so we know that Polymorph works. So we only have to test what's being added. Because you can say to someone, oh, you understand how all this works, and now we're just gonna. So we can actually play test some games without doing any writing at all. Because you can just write down a couple of notes because you know how it's changing against the standard polymorph apparati, as it were. But before that, or if we were working on a game that was outside of that space, it can be hard. It can be
Yeah.
daunting because a lot of times people are very much you need some amount of playtesting. And one of the things that I think is cool about Zine Month is, oh, excuse me, you can tell people like, hey man, we didn't playtest this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That, for a while it was cool. It was cool in the indie space to say like, this is our ash can, this is our pre, because basically what you were saying was, hey guys, we didn't play test this shit. This is
This
not
may not
final.
work.
We're gonna change some stuff when we get some feedback from you. This is us putting the work out there so that humans can interact. And I do think that if you're starting something large, uh, or you have a large plan, then Zine Month is a good way to begin that process. Where if you're making something tight, then it's got to be tight. You're doing, hey, this is this awesome 16-page game that's going to do all these things. Make sure that you've play tested it. Because if you're making something that the reason for someone to get it is because it is finished and tight and cool, and that's why there's such a difference, I think, when you look through the different projects, and they can all be equally cool at different stages of developmental completeness, because no one's stuff is ever done.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
80% is probably 100%.
Yeah. We talked about this a lot, but like the iterative process, like some people are like, oh, like if I release a zine with +1, like what does it look like if I want to change something later? And I'm like, you change it. Like if it's small and you're like, we're like printing more and you're like, can we change this? I'll be like, yeah, and we'll send everybody an updated PDF and it's great and we keep on going. And there are other people who are like, well, okay, I may want to do more with this. Or it gets out into people's hands and people really love it and they're like, we want more from this. Or hey, this happened in the game and it's not in the rules. And it's like, cool. We talk about rulings a little bit with them, but like, it's like, cool. Yeah, that's a great thing to add for our second printing or an updated version. Like RPGs are iterative, period. And zines are a great way to start that iteration process. Like going from like one page, like from a pocket mod to like, a few pages of rules to here's an adventure, which people should be like, we'll talk about this more, I'm sure, in a little bit, but like people should be writing more adventures, especially for your own stuff. There's a lot of things that kind of go into that. Bean J Bunny wants to know where we get editors and playtesters. I know one editor I could recommend. That's Sam Sorensen. Sam, if people want to reach out to you about editing, I don't know if you have space for Zine Month specifically. You might though. But
Depends
if
a
people
little
want to
bit,
reach
yeah.
out to you about editing,
Yeah, no, totally. You should. My slots are filling fast, but I have some open. You can contact me on Blue Sky, bsky.app or whatever the Blue Sky link is. It's just Sam Sorensen. Or if you're on the Zemo Discord server, the Zine Month one. I'm the one of the mods there. You'll see my name in whatever color we use, like red or purple or something. I think
purple.
we're purple. Yeah. Um, but yeah, shoot me a DM. My DMs are open, and you can come talk to me. Otherwise, if you're on that server, you can go to the Looking for Collaborators channel and be like, I'm looking for an editor.
Yeah.
And you might see people who are like, I'm an editor advertising my services, and you can DM them.
Yeah. There are a lot of great editors out there. There's also a lot of great servers, the Brain Trust server, the +1 server. There's a lot of servers out there that have professional, like, hey, we're looking for professional services. Richard Ruane, who's a staff member for us, edits a lot for other people. Wes Franks edits a lot for other people. Both do great work. We have some other editors that we use on a regular basis. I do development work, but I don't even call it developmental editing, even when it is, because I am not an editor. And I don't want people to get confused about what I do. But there's a lot of great folks out there who do great work. I also will throw out like Will Yobst is incredibly good. Probably maybe a little too late if you want to do Zine Month this year, but reach out beforehand because they are one of my favorite folks in the scenes. Aaron King does great editing work also too, and really clean stuff. There's a lot of great ones. If you're watching right now in chat and you want to drop in that you're an editor, do that with your @ you can't post a link, but you can post an @ if people want to reach out to you also too. Chris, where do y'all look for editors at?
Man, you are stuck.
It's Yeet, Tony. Who's Chris?
I keep on talking to Yeet's tech support like they're in charge.
Ah.
It's so weird.
For editors, editors are, for us as a professional organization, we take editing very seriously and we're very bad at it. So we, you know, we we kind of write in stream of consciousness sometimes, so editing is very, very important. But the thing that I can talk about is play testers.
Yeah.
Um and there's a couple of different stages of play testing. So we have here at ninth level and our immediate like circle, that's the word. Our immediate circle, the people that come and run games for us at shows and everything, that's our like first line of defense. So when we have new ideas early on, one of the biggest problems with playtesting is most people playtesting um, are also designers. Sometimes you got to get outside of that, but it's good to start with your known quantity so that you can test your ideas and make sure that they're good. And then once you have that, then it's about moving out beyond. And one of the ones we use is Unpub. Unpub is great. That's a great place to find people. And one of the nice things about RPGs is once you've gotten a good playtester, they want to playtest again. So keep their contact information handy. And playtesting is one of those things that you can usually get some people online. So all of the things that we just talked about, areas you can find, um, no harm, no foul. Like we're gonna play an hour online, usually is pretty good. So
Yeah. The other great thing I'll throw out, if you really like playtesting or you really want more playtesting, Metatopia, which is a convention that happens in New Jersey, but in the part of New Jersey where New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey are all really close to each other.
it's in Morristown,
It's well,
which
yeah.
has some of the best food you can imagine. It's an absolutely incredible food town.
What is your favorite place to eat in Morristown? We just got to know because I'll be there for
Galapagos.
Galapagos.
Yeah,
I
it's
got it.
Ecuadorian and Guatemalan.
I think I may have gotten food from there late at night when the
So
hotel restaurant had
good.
closed.
Papusas. Papusas.
We did,
Little
yeah.
flautas covered in
Yeah.
cheese and flower petals.
It was good. Metatopia
There's
is a
also a
place.
pork roll. There's a pork roll restaurant, and there's a grilled cheese restaurant, and there's a sushi burrito place, and then there's like three different places to get brunch. I love Morristown.
But Metatopia is a playtesting convention. That is what happens there. It is for playtesting. There are board games, there are RPGs, there are
Yeah.
LARPs. It is great. You sign up to basically you can go for very cheap if you are just playtesting other people's games. If you want your playtesting game playtested, it's more expensive, and you do some playtesting and some running of games. If you only want to run your game and you don't want to playtest other people's games, you can pay a little bit more and only run your games. You also have a couple of different like versions of that playtest, and some are people who just paid that $20 ticket and are just like, I'm just somebody who likes to play games. Other ones are accomplished game designers who will come and sit at your table and play your game and give you feedback. There's also workshops there on how to run effective playtest, how to be effective playtesters, other things like that. It is a great convention. I went for the first time this year. Most of our staff was there. We had a tremendous time, and we learned so much for a lot of the projects that folks were working on, whether that was taking them from an alpha to a beta or getting them into their kind of final positioning and just tightening them up. Really great convention.
Unpub is the same kind of thing in Baltimore, except that it's morely focused on board games, and they're building the RPG side.
Yeah. I'm gonna come down to the Baltimore one this year for at least a day to hang out. But it's a really great experience and a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Quinn's popping up some of the information on stream right
There's
now.
also a series of, depending on where you live, there's also Proto Spiel,
Proto Spiel.
which is another one in this space, depending on where you are in the country. There are unpubs and Proto Spiels near you.
Yeah, but also reach out to
And
your
at major convention events.
reach out to your friendly local game store and ask them if you can come in
Yeah.
and run things. Like local community centers oftentimes are looking for programming also. Just like think about places you can post things and have people show up and just be clear about where it is and what you're looking for. Those are some of the hardest things is knowing what to ask for in a playtest. I think a lot of the time. Excellent.
Don't
I have a big question I want to ask, and we'll see if we get any more questions that kind of come in. But I know I think this one is near and dear to Sam's heart. I could be wrong. But I want to talk largely about like um, Zine Month came as a response to like crowdfunding and a lot of changes, specifically at Kickstarter at that time. And I think there've been continue to be changes at Kickstarter. And like Zine Quest is a really great event, but it also Zine Quest 1 and 2 were these really kind of community watershed moments where we saw tons of designers starting to release games for the first time. And there are a lot of people who are calling right now a golden age of indie RPGs. I don't know if that's true or not. It sounds like great marketing. I think we've had really great indie RPGs for over a decade now, so it's really hard to be like this is the golden age when I don't know what the entire scope of the history looks like, right?
I would say we've been having really great indie RPGs since 1975. Thank you very
Well,
much.
that is also I think a very arguable thing. But I
I
want
mean,
to talk a little bit.
I would argue that the quality of game today is way higher. And
But
this is as a nerd with like copies of like Arduin, bloody Arduin. Like I love.
Arduin kind of rips though.
Oh,
Arduin's fun.
no, it's awesome, but it's insane.
Yeah.
yeah. But that's not my
Um,
question. Not my question
yeah,
is
yeah.
not is this the golden age of RPGs? I think that's debatable, but that's not
Is
the
this
debate I
the
want to have.
Golden Girls of RPGs?
Is this the Golden Girls of RPGs? And is that Exalted Funerals next Black Friday special
Oh.
drop? Sam wants to write it now. The so what I want to talk about is what I want to ask both of you is like, what do you think are the benefits and harms that the high reliance on crowdfunding have created in RPGs? Because I think there are both, and I think it is good to talk about
Say that word again.
the advantages. It basically like what has helped and harmed the indie RPG scene. Like what has crowdfunding done to impact it both positively and negatively?
Oh, the indie RPG scene. I thought you said hierarchical and my brain
I might have. I say
my
a lot of
brain
things.
attacked my like it was trying to get out of my nose. I literally had no idea what was going on. Sam, I'm gonna let you start.
Also,
sure.
Direct Sun says hi, Sam.
Oh, hi, Direct Sun. Nice to see you. I'll get those pages for you for layout soon. Don't worry. I'm busy on Tony's stream.
Make it happen.
Um, I think that the advantages of crowdfunding are baked into the marketing of them. If you look at Kickstarter or its sort of immediate successors like Indiegogo and some of the more recent ones like BackerKit or GameFound or these other ones, the advantage is that you, a person who doesn't have any connections and doesn't really know anything and doesn't really like know any of the inside baseball, can get a bunch of money for your RPG project or other project. And I think that's really powerful, saying like, oh, you suddenly have an injection of anywhere from $500 to $5,000 that you didn't have previously to invest into art and printing and so on is like really powerful and amazing. I mean, I like so many other people. I was part of that first wave of, one of basically my first ever published RPG was in Zine Quest 1. I released it in like 2019. It was like a lightweight Shadowrun hack and didn't really work at all. But like that's the advantage is suddenly you can get money and sales from nowhere. And I think that that's really powerful and is hard to overstate. The disadvantages, of which there are quite a few, in my opinion, Tony's heard me rant about this before. Um, I think the simplest and most direct one is that when you run a crowdfunding campaign, it's very easy to have no life after that crowdfunding campaign. It's very easy to say, this is the campaign that I ran. I print exactly enough copies for all my backers. And now this RPG that I made is not available in print anymore. It's only a PDF on drive-through and itch. And that is sad, in my opinion. And I think that it lends this like flash in the pan mentality of like, there's all the rewards on Kickstarter or on any other crowdfunding platform. And then once that crowdfunding campaign has ended, the project is over and nobody's going to talk about it again. When I think that like a lot of where you see long-term growth and support and communities build is along like, serialized product lines. And like product lines is like a very market-focused term, but just saying like, hey, I'm going to release my rule book and then an adventure and then another adventure and then a supplement and then an expansion and then another adventure. Like now you have people who care about this. And that kind of structure like is not built into how crowdfunding operates. And crowdfunding also has issues with like publishers or like why would I go to a publisher when I can just go to crowdfunding? And it means that like if you want to get into like the long-term infrastructure, it's caused problems. But basically it's very easy to make just enough for your crowdfunding campaign and nothing after that. And that's a very good way for nobody to play your RPG after you run the crowdfunder.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeet, how about you?
Let me get into this because Sam, that was some real stuff, and we've been having a fun time here talking some crap and all. But so here's the thing, Zine, whatever, Zine Month, Zine Quest, Zinetopia, whatever, right? If you are a new creator or an old creator that wants to do something different, it is there for you to do that. If you are trying to create a product line, you have to ask yourself a question that is very, very hard, which is, do you want to be a publisher? And for a lot of people, being a publisher is not something they want to do. Publishing is hard. It is a different set of skills than creating games. And there are publishers out there that might want your game. Now, if they want your obscure, strange, tiny RPG for 100 people, the answer is probably not, except for Tony, because he's special.
And then I will sell it to thousands of people.
Right. That's the point. So you have to figure out what your goal is. What am I trying to do? Am I trying to get my work out there? Am I trying to start a company because I have a game that I want to do? Progressives. So like for Ninth Level, it's kind of always different because we are a publishing company. And I always laugh when people are like, oh, I'm thinking about making this game. And I'm like, well, pitch it to us.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, what? You'll accept a pitch? Yeah, I'll accept a pitch if it's good. But if I make it, I'm going to make it. Where if you make it, you can do whatever you want with it. And that's the advantage of being your own publisher. You get all those choices. So the power of crowdfunding is you have access to purchasers before you make the product. And it has totally changed the way that role-playing games are made. Because there was a lot of risk in making role-playing games prior to crowdfunding. Now, you can, with a little bit of time and effort, reduce your risk to almost nothing. But to Sam's point, if you reduce your risk to nothing, you're not going to have a lot after. Printing and making just enough to fulfill your zine quest or whatever is fine for an art project. I'm going to make a game called Stick a Hot Poker in My Eye, a game that no one wants to play, but enough people would definitely buy on Zine Quest. I would buy it. I mean, especially if it was in the $15 range. Just saying. But you're probably not going to sell them afterwards.
If that was the whole title, that did rhyme and have a good meter flow to it. Like, so I think you might have a bigger market there than you think.
I mean, I realize that I personally am a genius. So I mean, the driblets that come out of my mouth sometimes are worth it. But
Droplets of wisdom.
Wisdom. I'm gonna steal some words from my buddy George. Like I can tell you what I don't want to see on crowdfunding anymore. I don't want to see any 6-stat hit point driven bullshit.
Okay, but hang on. What about $400,000 license tie-in hardcovers?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. Light it on fire. But I mean, here's the reality. Everything in RPGs that is not Dungeons and Dragons is going to be on crowdfunding. It's just the way it is.
Or coming out through Zine Club. One of those are your two options. That's it.
People are exploring more options than that. Not everything's on crowdfunding anymore.
But I think there's more options. But the reality is the largest audience is crowdfunding, even though it has now become bifurcated, trifurcated, quadrificated, is still the best source of eyeballs on a product in a space that doesn't have any central marketplace.
Yeah.
We don't have a um,
Google Plus is gone.
Google Plus is gone. G Plus is gone. But that was a great example. G Plus and the communities around it were very, very insular. Everybody in
Yeah.
those communities knew what was going on, and if you didn't know anyone in those communities, you didn't know those communities existed.
Yeah.
Whereas Kickstarter, for all of its flaws, has done a good job of putting Zine Quest on the front page, and given some, except for the time where they made the left turn and put Zine Quest over Gen Con, of which there is a very famous video of me yelling at them.
Yeah, and they were like, "It's going to be so cool. We're going to do a really cool thing." And that cool thing was put a Zine Quest banner on the like big screen in the stadium when no one was in there.
Right.
Like
it was other than that, but I mean, there is now a thing where people can say, "Oh, look, here's this place for new games." I mean, and I think that's exciting, and for me, that's why I always get so Super Bowl-y about February.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're here because we're excited. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, all three of us, like, and tons of other people, right? Put in the energy we put in, like big creators, small creators, put in the energy we into helping support things, shout things out, other things like that, because we all get excited about this time of year. Like, was a huge part of the early growth of Plus One was doing Zine Month streams, right? Helping out with content for Zine, like Zine Month and Zine Quest. And there's even with all the critique, like, because I would even say like my biggest deficit for crowdfunding, because it's not Kickstarter specific, is it robs us of the joy of release and replacement with the joy of funding. That people are very focused on the moment of funding and not on when I get my books in hand from that creator. There's some excitement there still, but a lot of the people who rally around us to support us are rallying around us to support us. And the perception is that happens when we cross a certain financial threshold and are funded, and then we can go move on to the next one of those. And then oftentimes when the game shows up, people who were excited about getting it during funding, because it may be 6 months, a year, or more later,
2 years, 3 years, 5
3
years,
years, 5 years,
a decade or two.
Stone Top fulfillment coming soon. Legitimately, I'm very excited.
Yeah, it should be good.
For a number of reasons, we're shipping them. But getting that book in your hands now is like you already kind of had your moment of excitement around that project and you're on to the next one. And I think I think there's a lot of psychological impacts for that and other things that crowdfunding do. And I think we need to be more cognizant of that. I mean, I think y'all have already spoken great to the opportunity of things. And I will say, like, one of the best things, and one of the reasons, like we haven't shouted it out a lot, but like we always do a thing called $28, 28 days. If you don't have a lot of money to spend during Zine Month, backing people for $1 and other people who follow you or sharing it on social media afterwards, like that sharing process, that discovery process, that building of the audience and awareness of that project, I think is one of the coolest things you can do, even without a whole lot of money, because you can share it for free, or you can back it for $1, which is not everything, or you back it for more than $1 if you got more than $1, and do it. So every day, like during Zine Month, I'll go through and back at least one project. But lots of times they are for $1, and they are because I know on Kickstarter there are people who follow me and the projects that I back, and I will go share them on social media because there are people who follow us and let people know we back them. And so like it is a good thing to help build audience and help look at other ways that we can build audience for people. So this has been great. I was surprised we didn't get more questions about fulfillment or making things or other stuff like that, but I love where the conversation was able to go. Some of the high level theory. Before we are done, I want to talk about a couple projects maybe that we're excited about or things we're looking forward to. Yeet. I know that a couple ones beforehand. I know that you got your hands in some stuff, but what's a project you're excited about for this Zine Month?
So Ninth Levels, Zine, most what we've been doing, we started the first Zine Quest with mazes, and so we always do a mazes product, but we also do something different every year. And this year's Fun Shop product is called Mount Olympus Community College, where you have not gotten into Olympus University, and but you're a demigod, and it's pretty funny. The yeah, and the art is absolutely amazing. Really funny, like Atlas holding a keg of pi beta. It's pi beta rho. Very funny.
Love it. Excellent. Sam, how about you? What's a project you are excited about?
I'm excited about Lazy Lich's new funnel. They've got a funnel called Demi Dirge with some like weird sort of like it's got a very like Geiger-esque sort of vibe to it of it's biomechanical and there's like horrible monsters crawling around. It's in like a sort of like a psychedelic bug's nest, but it's a funnel where you have to escape, and it looks extremely lethal and extremely cool. I'm also pretty excited about And He Shall Eat the Sun by, you mentioned Duck and Crow Press earlier, and they have this new project called And He Shall Eat the Sun, which is like they call it a bloodbath dungeon, but it's basically a dungeon that is like built like the super deadly old school 80s dungeons that you're meant to
Yeah.
like play through a bunch of times and get used to, and they have some like fancy roguelike stuff going on. So that looks pretty cool too. Those two are
Yeah.
definitely near the top of my list.
And He Shall Eat the Sun was on my list. I met Dale this last weekend at Page. I
Was
picked
he
up.
running? Was he running the bloodbath?
He
Was that him?
was doing a bloodbath. He had his
Yeah, yeah,
bloodbath
yeah.
board up and ran a lot all weekend long. I went up to the booth and I was like I was because I had they had somebody had added me because they were asking about good local Philly game stores and had talked to them a little bit about that. Saw them at the convention, like chit chatted with them, went up to their booth to go check it out. And as soon as I walked up, I got so excited because I am such a huge fan of the artists that they use for most of their projects, including And He Shall Eat the Sun, Daniel Harilla, who did Deck and Throat Divided. We did an AP a few weeks ago, 3 parts of just diving into that dungeon. But Daniel is doing the art for it and is just tremendously talented, absolutely gorgeous work. I was excited about that one, but the one I've been looking forward to, and I've been looking forward to it for a while because When Suddenly Games has been working on The Crypt Has Opened for a few years now. Like it has gone through a lot of digital iterations. When Suddenly they do their own art. They're incredibly talented at it. It's got a great kind of pulp horror vibe to it. And it's got has had gone through a lot of really extensive play testing and sharing. So it is tight and it is refined, and I'm super excited to see it finally come out during Zine Month also too this year. So When the Crypt Has Opened is the one that I'm tremendously excited to see also too. Who tossed worms into the chat? Was
Oh,
that
I
one of
mentioned
yours
that one
also,
earlier.
Sam?
Yeah, it's 5 pamphlets for Mothership, which is very
Yeah,
cool. By Terry Hurd.
because they're in a serial, even though they're pamphlets or they zines.
Ooh, they're only folded, they're not bound.
I see.
So
I'm fine. My definition is just fold.
sure. I could be persuaded. I could be
Yeah.
persuaded.
What if I put a clip on the end of all the
Well,
all the
then
pamphlets?
probably, yeah. But then you've made the zine,
I
not
mean,
Terry.
but what is RPG but participatory engagement
Look,
in a
Tony, I'm happy to
tutorial?
have that discussion with you anytime you want. I should also
uh,
say, this is totally biased because I'm working on this one, but Direct Sun, who was yelling at me in chat earlier and saying hello, I'm doing editing and layout for his new puzzle dungeon called A Familiar Tower that I can tell you firsthand is going to be pretty good.
A
I'm super.
familiar. Wait, a familiar tower.
A Familiar Tower, yeah.
I like that. That's a good name.
Yeah,
It is very good. If you haven't checked out Direct Sun's puzzle dungeons,
they're
They
good.
are they are tremendous. Also on the Zemo server, Direct Sun ran a like they ran it on itch, but we had a channel
We had a
for it
channel
in
for it, yeah.
the Zemo server. They ran a puzzle dungeon like jam and did a ton of support content for if you want to create better puzzles in your dungeon or create puzzle dungeons. How to do that. There is a gold mine of information about how to create better puzzles for your dungeon. You should go check it out. But I am that Sam Ameliart, that Sam Sorensen, and then Direct Sun ruined it by not being named Sam. But still making a
Tough.
really banger game. Direct Sam, we call him sometimes. Is
I
going to
was
be
just about to make that joke.
really
I was
really
like
weird.
Sam and Direct Sam.
There we go. Um, I'm super yeah. There's so many good things that are going to come out this month, and that is the hardest thing. Like if one of the things we also did not get a lot of questions for, which I was kind of surprised by, are like, how do I get the word out? Like where do I tell people about my
It's because
my
they watched your press kit video, Tony,
they
and
have
they
watched
know
my press kit
exactly.
video, which I do have some updates for, and we need to get a
Oh
better
yeah.
press kit list out to people, like a, just a general use
Sure,
one.
sure, sure.
There you don't want to just cold everybody, but there's a lot of people who have submitted to press list over the years, and so we should try to get an updated one out in the next little bit. It's okay to not know what to ask. Like that's I'm not harshing on y'all. They're usually
Tony,
like
you should
very
insult the
specific things.
viewers. You should be telling
Yeah,
them that
y'all
they
are
are
not
dumb,
dumb
only
that they
as
have low
bricks.
intelligence. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, okay, we've got one last one. We're trying to put up a zine on Kickstarter this month. What differentiates a zine from a normal module RPG supplement? We did already go over this kind of in large as far as format. My answer is like it is kind of vibes, but we described those vibes explicitly earlier earlier on. I love that Yeet threw out like single party or small team, right? Like I think are really good. Thinking about the way that analog and digital and your final print format they want to be. I think, like you may not know if this is going to be serialized, but I even think to like Sam's point of like thinking about if this goes well, what will I do next to follow this up? Because I would say like Direct Sun is a great example because like they're not serialized in the sense of this one follows this one that follows this one, but their zines that they release are all puzzle dungeons, and they are all are advancing a type of narrative they want to explore. And so I think more of us would be given advantage if we thought about that. And I even think if you're doing a system, thinking about the adventure. If you're doing an adventure, thinking like, do I want to come back with something that builds on this systematically for my next thing? I think starting to think about zines as small little chunks of things that you can be iterating on, but also systematizing, like as far as release goes, I think is really solid and a great point also too. So, a little vibes, but also, if it's a big hardback 200-page book, it's not a zine. Like, and that's
like
fine.
like we all know, I I'll know a zine when I see it.
Mhm.
Is
Yeah,
the most true is the most true thing.
yeah. Um, no, I think these are all great. Please go check out the work that Yeet and the ninth level team are doing this year. Check out the projects that Sam is working on. If you want help with marketing or fulfillment or other things like that, reach out to the Plus One team. We do all that stuff. We have not put it out yet, but we have left a couple slots open for doing actual plays during Zine Month of projects that are releasing. There is a cost to it because we pay our performers. However, like we will do it as affordably as we possibly can. And if you have no budget now, we don't actually ask people to pay until after their project is funded, so we can work with you on structuring it into what you're doing. And also, if you need help on a lot of things, there's tons of workshops here from over the years on Plus One for Zine Month specifically, but also for tons of other things like the press kit workshop. We've had people come on and talk about layout. We've had people come in and talk about fulfillment. We've had a lot of different folks come in and talk about like how you do pricing for your zine and other things like that. We are going to be deep diving into layout this year in a little bit of a different way. We've got Kyle Latino, the map crow, who's going to come in and talk about how you structure out the map of your book before you even start doing layout and design. And we're going to have Mike Martins, award-winning RPG graphic designer, come in and talk about a couple different things, but again, about how you start to think about layout, even if you are not a graphic designer, from when you start writing what you're doing. So, I also just want to shout out Odds and Ends from Graphbound Press, dropped a great tool in the Zemo server today on how graphic design and layout interact with each other and how you help your illustrators and other artists know what your layout artist needs, because those are oftentimes things that are a little disconnected, and we've had projects where that's happened, where the artist has finished and we're like, this is not what we we needed, and now we have to either pay you to do more art or ask you to do work that we clearly outlined in advance again. And so Explorer's Guild, best way to reach out to us is to get in the Zemo server and just shoot me a message, Tony. I think it's just Tony +1. And there in the Zemo server, that's ttrpg.link/Zemo. If you reach out through the +1 site, our marketing team is the same as our publishing team, is the same as our fulfillment team. There are all different people, but almost all of us do all the things with different variations of control. So most of the person you'll talk to is me. Hit me up on Discord, shoot us a message on Blue Sky, Tony at +1exp, if you want to talk about all that stuff. We'll also have a bunch of extra streams. Quinn and I are doing Monday weekly roundups of projects that caught our eye and that we want to talk about. We'll have some special guests on those. We will be doing our full normal line of shows on Wednesdays, but we will be shouting out games during that time. And we're going to have some special guests that are specifically great for Zine Month during that month. Yeet, you already mentioned you're doing your thing. Tell people about that. And do you take pitches for that also too? If people want their project to get mentioned.
Yeah, so you can reach Ninth Level pretty much anywhere on any platform with at Ninth Level Games. The Instas, the Blue Skies, the et ceteras, and the et ceteras, the at centras. But during February, I am unleashed. Yeet versus Zine Quest every day at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for like 10 minutes. And it'll be on YouTube, it'll be on Blue Sky, and then it'll be on our YouTube channel. You'll be able to find it. And if you are a creator that would like me to talk to you on that, send a email to ninthlevelgames@gmail.com or chris@ninthlevelgames.com and say that you want to talk to Yeet.
There you go. Awesome. Sam, if people want you to shout off this tower in New York City about their Zine Zine Month project, where should they find you?
They can find me on Blue Sky at samsorensen.bsky.social. You can find me on Discord, where my display name is just Sam. Or you can find me at the New School or at NYU, where I teach. And hand me a bag of money, and I'll go to the top of the tallest tower, and I'll yell about your zine.
There we go. Excellent. This is so great. So great to have both of you on. We went a little bit over time because we started a little late. But if you have more questions or other things like that, again, the best place to go, ttrpg.link/Zemo Discord is going to take you into the Discord community. Great conversations there. You can find me, you can find Sam, you can find a bunch of other smart and good looking people. And Yeet may be in there someday too. Who knows? We might make it happen. But this has been great.
Maybe.
Thanks so much.
Maybe this is the month we do it.
Maybe this is it. Happy Zemo, everybody. Have a good time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Quinn, this is the cue to take us offline. Don't